once again. Good evening, Platinum members. I think I'm about a minute early, but that's okay, because we are starting our new project number 3, and this is going to take, I have to be honest, it's going to take a little while. So we're going to spread it over 4 or 5 weeks. So the first little session is tonight, and I'm going to show you the first bit. I think for those of you that have been with me from the start, which was January, we started to show all our stuff on the website, and because of the way that worked, it didn't work very well. It just didn't suit. So of course we decided, when I say we, that's me, decided the Facebook group would be better, which it has proved to be. So you see my tail come out of there. You'll get to know what these things are in a minute. So we started on the website. So and we started with a gorgeous embroidered baubles, which, if you are a sort of newer joiner to the Platinum group, everything that you need is in either in the files or it's in the media section. Okay. And at some point I will get organised. I say that probably, I don't know, maybe in a month or 6. But everything you need is there, and if I've done my job properly, who knows? If you just search baubles, for instance, everything should come up. With baubles, you need a template for the baubles, and that is in the files as well. So just have a scroll through the files. There's obviously, you've got 127 Making It Monday projects in there, so you've got a bit of scrolling to do, but it won't take long. And you know, if you want to find the stuff, you'll find it, won't you? It's all there for you. That's why we try to make it as easy as we possibly can, and you just have to have a quick search, that's all. So let me just go on to the Platinum page on my laptop. It's so bright in here, it's crazy. There we go. Make sure my sound is down, that's fine, and then I'll be able to see comments, etc. Okay, so we can say hello to, let's go back up to the top, to Maggie, to Marilyn, to Violet, Jill, Sue. Oh, she says she's going to catch up later. That's fine. Jackie Thomas, Leslie, Mary. It's hot in Spain at the moment, is it, Mary? Oh, it can be quite intolerable, really, sometimes. Nicola says, I cannot wait to see what we are going to do with the talc. Well, yeah. It is all part of the process. And obviously we are absolutely not going to cover everything tonight, because I want to spread it out. So like I was saying, when we first did this on the website, I would do a little bit one week, a little bit more the next week, and the same with the baubles and the flower bouquet, well, the flower basket, wasn't it? We did bits at a time, which meant that people could keep up and join in as and when, and they weren't being rushed, and also it meant that people weren't posting their makes before anybody had a chance to actually make it. So and that's what I like us all to do things all at the same pace. I mean, sometimes that doesn't work, you know, like in our other group, sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time so far in the Platinum group, that's how we've done it. So for those of you that are fairly new, I've only done 1 or 2 lives in the group. The lives here aren't necessarily a social live, they are more tuition based, and it's an add-on and a complementary to the members group, the Lizzy's Fabulous Sewing group. Okay, so this is like a branch off of it. So you should be in both groups, I think most of you are. because the majority of what we do is in the members group, and this is, like I say, like an add-on. So you'll never get like the chatty morning messages from me or anything like that, because obviously we've got all the members together in the members group. So Platinum is all about the projects and tuition and all that sort of thing, and we do things slowly, not because we need to necessarily. It's for everybody to keep up, because for instance the project took me, I don't know, 3 or 4 days to make that, and probably 2-3 hours every day, not 8 hours or anything like that, but a couple of 3 hours every day. So it's not a sort of quick knock together job. It's going to take a little while, and that's the idea, you see, that we spend some time, some quality time, putting our bits and bobs together and creating something gorgeous. So funnily enough, the project that we were going to do featured butterflies, and then I saw the electric pylon. So those of you all know that I saw an electric pylon, which inspired me to make this. And then the other day I saw something with tea dyeing, so I've got a queue of projects. I'm not going to rush through them. No way, Jose. I'm going to take a time and enjoy the process with you. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit sort of fast and furious, and that's not what Platinum is about. It's about learning. So let's just make sure I've got the right mouse. I was just going through the hellos again. So Jeanette and Diane as well, Jackie in there as well, and our other Jackie Grant, and Bridget and Rachel, Cindy, jump a few, sorry, Eileen and Dawn, you're all there, thank you very much. Karen says, good evening Lizzie, I hope you had a good day. Like your top or dress, love from Karen. Thank you, Karen. It is a dress. I'm going to London on Wednesday with Rosella, and I was thinking I might wear it, but I might not. So I was kind of just testing it out, really. It's a bit, I've got to keep woofing it. So, and I don't want to. We're having cream tea at Liberty's. We're going to spend a bit of money. Well, perhaps Rosella might. Well, I might. And then we're going to have cream tea, and then we're going round the corner, she tells me, to one of her favourite shops. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, going down to the Smoke Hill on the train. Be lovely. And I do love meeting up with Rosella, because she gets my sense of humour. Not many people do. No, not many people put up with me like Rosella does. Bless her heart, she's such a good friend. Right, so this is, just let me adjust myself, that's it. This is our project, and as I told you, it was created or inspired by an electric pylon, and obviously you can see that straight away. And when you look at the pictures that I posted, well, was it last week? It's almost the kind of metalwork, if you like, on here is almost identical to the actual pylon, and we were in a beautiful sort of nature. Yeah, I suppose it is a nature reserve. It's like an old like a pit, like a miner's pit, and it's really lovely. There's lots of wild bird life, like swans and ducks and blah blah blah, lots and lots of wildlife, and it's beautiful. But you've got these enormous electric pylons. One side, I think we've got 2 on one side, then it goes across, and then it's right across to the field, if you like, if you could imagine what I'm looking at. So we have to walk right past one of them, so crikey, it's enormous. I wonder if that was inspired by the Eiffel Tower or the Blackpool Tower. I'm not sure. But according to someone, I can't remember who, yes, I will try and get on the right train. Yes, we actually have huge history on just dreadful travel incidents. So it is a bit of a risk. But all I can say is Rosella won't be on my train. So I stand a bit of a chance of of getting to London in one piece. Yeah, so when I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, straight away. I don't know how my brain works, but straight away I saw this as being almost, well, like a candle cover, as I've got it here. I've got my little tea lights in there, you can see. I'm not sure they show up very well in the light of the room here, but you can just about see them. So what we've got is areas that have been cut out. So I'll point it out there and there. I'll go on the overhead in a minute, show you more detail, and there. And then we've got one up here, and there's actually organza behind that, but you don't have to put the organza in. A lot of these things are very, you decide how much or how little you want to do. For instance, this little part here, okay, we've got a sort of a piece that's literally just thread. It's like a bridge between that triangle and that triangle, and it's not the most easiest of things to do. So you might want to keep that area there as a piece of fabric. Obviously I'm going to show you everything there is to know about how to make this, and we're going to do it in very, very small bite-sized chunks. So do not expect me to make one of these tonight. I absolutely physically couldn't because, like I say, it took me 3 or 4 days to knock this up. Yeah, so it's created, obviously you can see, with various different shapes, which if you've downloaded the template, if you haven't, don't worry, because you won't need it tonight, but once you've got it, you'll perhaps start to understand where the direction we're heading. But I don't want you to rush ahead, because there's things that you'll need to know about certain bits of it, if you like. So we're going to start off with creating our fabrics, which is very similar in a way to the baubles, but this time it's all done on machine. There's no hand stitching. You can if you want, but it's a really lovely project to kind of almost not slow stitch, because you're going to use the machine, but to create. Okay, to create. Yeah. So we've got the exact. It's the exact shape of the pylon. It's just amazing, really, and it's strange how I immediately saw this as something that we could do in the Platinum group, something special, something a little bit different. In our members group, we tend to stick to our kind of regular sewing, and it's only on journal nights that we might sort of step over the line a bit, you know, like last week we did monogami, didn't we, which is just awesome, and I really want to have a day making more papers with that, and I've got my coconut oil now, which is going to make a huge difference. But yeah, so the difference between what we do in the members group to what we do in Platinum is so different. Okay, this is more, you're up in your ante a bit. Now it could be that nothing appeals to you about this, okay, but you could take something away from this, and you could create your own version of it, or you could take some of the techniques we're going to do and use them on other things, and we can talk about that as we go along. So yeah, so it's got 3 sides, which I thought was cute. I think the pylon's 4-sided, isn't it? I ought to know that, but I didn't take a lot of notice of how many sides. I put three little flashy candles in there, and it looks amazing on my sideboard at night. Really does look super. And yeah, so the other thing is I thought about was I like this tall V here, but so maybe I would put the candles a little bit higher. I'm looking for something to stand them on, but maybe get a little wooden box or something like that, and stand the candles that little bit higher, because all of these windows here and here, you'll see the light through that, you see, because if I put my, I don't know if you'll see, but if I put my hand in there, can you see my I've got such wayward tassels on here, can you see I've got my fingers there? Okay, so I'll tell you what, let's go on the overhead, and then you'll be able to see a little bit better. Oh, here we are, there we go, there's my 3 little candles. They're also a bit dodgy, aren't they, whether they're going to work or not. And they are slightly tall. They're about an inch and a quarter, I suppose, 1.5 inches perhaps. and they sit over the top. You're not going to use real candles, are you? So let's just put those to one side. So let's have a little look at it in more depth. So this is your organza windows, if you like. You don't have to put that in there, but it's quite a nice little touch. And this one obviously is lots of golds and browns and a bit of blue thrown in. You might recognise some of the fabrics, and they're some of my scraps that I've been able to use. Somebody says, just look around my lounge to see where I could place this. Well, I mean, a windowsill would be perfect because you'd see the sunshine through it. You really would. Sorry about the aircraft tonight. Got a lot of aircraft, a lot of activity going on. And here, look, I've used part of a selvage there. I quite like that selvage, so I've incorporated it. So you can see if we didn't have that organza there, this little strip of stitching, there is some bosal there, but this little bit of stitching is just on its own. I mean, it's on its own anyway because the organza isn't attached. It is everywhere else except this bit here. And I think it's quite nice, but you can decide. If you haven't got any organza, don't bother. You could use one of the taller candles. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously not a real one, battery operated. I don't want to be responsible for setting your house on fire, but I think you're much more sensible than that. Yeah, so there's lots of interesting things in here. Look, there's a piece of tiger fabric in here. So obviously I've worked on that theme of golds and browns and blues, because blues go very well with golds and browns. So that's the one that is your inspiration. The colours I'm going to use are quite different. I'm going for these ones by Lewis and Irene, Cassandra Connell, is it Connolly? And I just wanted icy-ish blues, and I'm going to use silver thread. But listen, if your machine can't take metallic thread, and I absolutely understand that some machines are a bit fickle with thread, then use some variegated thread, just use regular thread. Maybe it's something that you're not sure about the whole thing, so don't waste your gorgeous thread on something that you're not sure that you're going to like or you're going to complete. They do take a long time to construct, okay, long time. Nothing is hand stitched. Even the joining of the pieces is all done on the machine. So it's very friendly, if you like. I've done it on my crusty old Benina 1008, which is probably, I don't know, 30 years old, so you don't need anything fancy. And I use the 1008 because it likes metallic thread. It's good for like artistic work. So yeah, there we go. So hopefully you're inspired by that, and you'll want to at least have a little bit of a go at some of it. Okay, some of it. Let's just pop that to one side. So so the templates that you've got, and don't worry if you haven't downloaded them, you don't need them tonight, okay, you don't need them tonight. We'll meet up again in a fortnight's time and we'll start constructing, but at the moment you don't need to worry about this, but I just want to explain. So obviously this is your shape, and you can see that that's your, I mean, I could have erased that line there, but you know, life's too short sometimes. So you could just ignore that bit if you want to. And they're numbered, and the reason why they're numbered is, you know, that we're actually going to cut these shapes out eventually, and you need to know which shape goes in which bit, okay, because if you don't do that, you will come unstuck. So for the moment I would get a little box or a bag or something and keep everything that you want to use for this project in there, including these templates. And if you want to, you can cut this out, because you've got one for placement and just as a reference, and you've got one for cutting up. Okay, so if you wanted to, and you're only interested in the triangles that have a letter and number on, so we're not interested in that one, that one, that one, that one, or, well, obviously that one. Now, if you wanted to, with mine, as you know, I've cut mine out, so my triangle, if you like, is cut away. It's the legs of the pylon, which if you look at the photo you'll understand. But if you wanted to, you could keep that solid if you want. I quite like the V of the pylon, you know, the triangle, the cutout bit. But again, I would say have a little think before we cut. And we're not doing any cutting now, except for making up the piece ready for the next stage, okay? But it's there if you want it. And if you want to, as I say, you can cut out the letters and numbered pieces and just use a little clip to clip them together so you don't lose them. You need to use these 3 times or you're going to have to print more copies. And so we don't want to lose them. We might as well keep using the same ones. Yeah, so there we are. So that's your templates, and you need to print 2, as I said. One as a reference and 1 to cut. I think I'm fairly clear with that now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our ironing mat and our little iron, which I want to switch on and bring so it's closer to me. I'm going to turn it down a bit. You don't want it on full blast. I'll just pop it there so we can see it. And you also want a piece of Bondo web. I didn't actually tell you what size. But you need a piece, and do you know, I don't know where mine's gone. Where has my piece of Bondo web gone? Why do these things disappear, I wonder? Oh, I'll cut another piece. So you need a piece of Bondo web. Oh, no, it's not there. How strange. I would say about, don't measure it, but about 8 inches by 10 inches, okay? Which is exactly what I had on my desk. So let's just cut this. How weird. It's funny how things disappear. It's probably on the floor or something. In fact, yes, it's on the floor over there. I'll go and get it. Because I had the window open earlier. It's blowing a gale tonight, isn't it? So let's just go and get it. I was going to pop that in my bin, but I'll put it down there. Okay, so you need a piece of Bondo web. And you want glue side up. So let's go down over the overhead again. Glue side up. And what we're going to do is we're going to build up our pieces onto this Bondo web. Okay? So this is the bit that I like, because you just want to be fairly random. Now listen, I've cut these pieces that I'm going to use in 2.5 inch strips, only because it keeps all my fabrics to around about the same sort of size when I start to cut. I'm going to cut triangle-y sort of pieces. So if you have troubles with randomness, then just cut some triangles, and then we're going to rearrange them on our piece of Bondo web, okay? And when I say triangles, if you want to do one that looks like that, that's not too random, is it? And then we're just going to pop it in the corner. And your Bondo web might be like mine, a little bit wayward. It's a bit scrunched. Obviously you're not going to iron it. So for the first couple of pieces or so, it's a little bit tricky to keep them under control. But once we start to put them down, in fact we can cut a little smaller if we want. Look, and they're nice little triangles. Once we start putting them down, it'll start getting a little bit more controlled. And what you want to do is cover your Bondo web with no bits of Bondo web showing. Okay, no bits of Bondo web. Now obviously just be careful of your iron. And you're just going to start building up your fabric. Okay, so I switched this off. No wonder it's not sticking. There we go. And this will take a little while to do, but you know what, I really enjoy the process. So again, we're just going to cut our pieces, and like I say, you can cut loads like I am now. Now if you can't do random, if it looks random, I'm literally cutting straight lines. So it's not like free motion where, you know, you really have to be relaxed and be able to kind of draw with your fabric. This is much more controlled. Can you see what I'm doing? It's just literally, oh, I love this mauvey colour. The colours of this, actually, I meant to say this before, the colours of this fabric is very, very Lynette Anderson. I don't know if she's inspired by Lynette Anderson, but they do remind me of Lynette. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful fabric. But yeah, just thought it really did. So hopefully those of you that struggle with being free with your shapes, what you're doing is cutting triangles, and if you want to cut perfect triangles, then you must. Okay, you must. Don't ever let me dictate to you what you must or mustn't do. You just carry on being you, because that's what makes you lovely. And when we've got bits where they don't, you see that you can actually cross them over, and you'll have some that's not stuck to the bonder web, and that is absolutely fine. And we're just building up, but you don't want to see any bonder webs, so you do want to overlap them. But because we're going to do lots of stitching, then everything gets stitched down in the end. Okay, so, and even if you cross them over quite a bit, it should still work perfectly fine. So just be careful of your iron. You don't want to have glue all over it. And of course, the colours that you could use, I would definitely keep to tones. You know, orange tones, pink tones. You could go for golds and browns like I did with my sample. I wanted to do something different for you tonight. But try and stick with the tones that you like, because obviously then you might well finish it. Whereas if you start on something and you don't like the colours, it's unlikely that you'll finish it, to be honest. So you can see I'm just building up the layers. So cutting a few is great. Just want to try not to get the colours the same next to each other. So you can just keep adding. And what you want to do is cover this whole piece. And actually it's really fun. And for those, as I say, for those of you that struggle with this type of work, where you have to be a little bit more sort of free with your cutting and placing, you can see what it looks like, then stick to squares. Cut a load of squares and just patch them together, or make your triangles really straight and even and almost, oh, I was going to say regimented, but that's not quite what I mean. Just keep them neat. That's a good word to use for that. Keep them neat. And also, if you've got something, I've got a little turtle there and a little baby one there, so you might want to keep that. It could be that when you get to that bit and you're cutting, you don't catch that bit anyway. Okay, so it might well depend. I quite like the darker shades, and as I say, you're just going to build up your fabric, and we will see what the talc is for. Oh dear. I wonder if we're busy with the aircraft, because President Biden's here, isn't he? And of course the military here, they will look after him. I think we had Trump come in here a year or two ago. Yeah, I know. Tricky. Yeah, so don't worry if your fabrics overlap. Like I say, we'll do lots and lots of stitching. But just get this bit done, and then I'll show you a little bit of the next bit. Let me just take that up because that wasn't sitting right. I'll show you a little bit of the next bit, and then you'll see what direction we're going. And although it's like everything, isn't it? You know, when we start any project, in the beginning it might look really, really odd and you struggle with it. And gosh, the amount of times I see messages, you know, saying, oh gosh, you know, I wish I'd chosen different colours, I don't like what I've done, it's not inspiring me, I wish I'd done the same colours as you, you know, all these sort of things. Well, once you've made this up, you'll be amazed at how different it looks, and you'll love it, I know. So, and everything you do, you know, is a masterpiece. You know that, don't you? Has anybody told you that? Oh, there's two colours together there. That's not so good. Yeah. Everything you do is a masterpiece. And it's your masterpiece. Nobody else's. Yeah. You've gone very quiet on me. Are you okay? You're still there? And I promise you, you will end up with the most amazing electric pylon. And when people say to you, oh lovely, what is it? Because there's a lady who actually used to be a member, she's not anymore. She's, yeah, I do sort of keep, she comes up in my feed on my page quite a bit. And when I posted the picture on my page to inspire people, she said, what is it? And I said, well, can't you use your imagination, Katie? Well, now you know what she's called. And she said, no, I've no idea what it is. No idea. I said, can you not guess? So, no, I can't possibly guess. No idea. So, whatever you do is always seen differently by other people, isn't it? And when you make yours, you can enjoy the comments that people make, because they will say something, that's for sure. Okay, well, I've nearly put this together, so I can move on to the next bit, and then that'll be it. I won't be doing any more because we're going to do this together over a period of time. Okay, just want to find a place for that. Might as well. I've got another little bit I can put down. So, but you do want a piece about this size. So this is about 8 by 10. And it's possible you might have to do a little bit more, but you should be okay. Okay, so we're there as. Okay, we're as good as. Like I say, and a lot of these pieces aren't stuck down, which is fine. Okay, right, that's it. Okay. Just make sure they're all glued down where they should be. Right, that'll do. Obviously you probably, you know, want to fill it all just to make sure you've got enough, and it doesn't take a lot of scraps, you can see. And if you've got some if you've got some really gorgeous bits of cotton fabric that you just don't want to throw away, and they are scrappy bits, this is the perfect time to use them. Okay. Art doesn't scare me one bit, but the outcome does sometimes. Is that? Oh, Patsy. Oh, dear me. Oh, yeah. Oh, Catherine says, you do encourage us, Lizzy. Not Catherine said that, but somebody else. And Kath's reply is, you're all very valued. Yes, you absolutely are. Yep. And Susan said, isn't it lovely to feel valued? Oh, thank you. Well, you are. You're my special ladies and Peter. Right, so obviously, like I say, you're going to cover the whole lot. Do not worry if bits go off the edge. Do not worry that bits overlap and they're not stuck down, because like I said a moment ago, we're going to do lots of stitching. Okay, so the next stage is to actually take the Bondaware paper off the back. So please make sure that you've gone over this and made sure that all your pieces where they're touching are stuck down. Okay, you can go over the back. and just, you know, give it a moment to glue and adhere. Now while that's still hot, that won't be as easy to take off. Okay, I've switched that off, so that's good. Yeah, it won't be so easy to take, and do be careful of your mat, but so we've just got to wait for that to cool down just for a moment. Okay, so while we're doing that, I'll just show you again this piece, because I want you to have a little look. If we look at the diagram, okay, let's pick out this area here, okay, this area here. So we've got D1, C1, B1. And if we refer to the project, that's D1, that's C1, and that's B1, okay? And you'll notice that each section is made up, perhaps, of different fabrics, okay? And each one of those fabrics, and I know it's not that easy to see, but each one of those little pieces has patchwork fabric in, okay? And you'll think, oh my gosh, I can't even see that, I don't know what she's talking about. But as the next few weeks go on, it will make so much more sense. So we're making up these portions from our fabric, so it ends up looking like this, okay? And you might think to yourself, well, there's no way mine's going to look like that. But it absolutely will. It absolutely will, I promise you, because we're doing this in very slow stages. If you were at a workshop to do something like this, a textile artist workshop, you would be at this all day and you would take homework home. You wouldn't finish it, more than likely, okay? You know, you just wouldn't. So I'm just scratching the back of my bonder web. There's more planes going over. And it's a Monday. Normally it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Thursdays the new people come in, so we always say, oh, new tenants. Because we live in a village that's obviously it's 50% American, which is lovely, and we do love them. You know, it's nice to have them here. They're so such nice people. So we always say, oh, new tenants. Now you see that's still hot, so the glue's coming away, but I'm okay about that. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So we're taking all of this paper off because we can't stitch through this paper. Okay, we need to have the glue exposed because it's the glue that's going to stick it onto our bozal. Okay, it will become clear over the weeks. So now I'm looking at the back of it, and we've got a sheet of glue, so you can see there's my sheet of glue. I mean, don't worry about that. If you want to cut it away, I'm not even going to worry about it. Now, for this to go through your machine in a pleasant manner, you can either, well, two things. You can either just put talcum powder, hurrah! You can either put talcum powder on the back, like this, just a little bit, and spread it around, and immediately takes the stickiness and the vinyl feeling of your talcum powder, of the glue, away. It does not take away the glue, so when you go to iron this on in a week, you know, a couple of weeks time, 3 weeks time, it still activates the glue. But what it does, it gives this lovely smooth surface ready for stitching. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Oh, and it's doesn't Johnson's baby powder tick the box. The other thing you can do, and you can put your tearaway stabilizer on the back. Okay, it's a bit big, but you could put your tearaway stabilizer on the back, and it will support your fabric a lot better than just that on its own, because that's quite flimsy. So you might want to do this in bite-sized chunks, for instance. So maybe we could just pop that down there. Let's just have a look where we might want to start stitching. Let's put it in this corner here. Okay, I'm just going to stick it over the edge, and I can guarantee that you can tear this away very, very easily once you've stitched, I promise, because that's how I did this, okay? But the talcum powder takes away all that clagginess, if you like, that vinyl plasticky feeling of the glue. So it will move much more freely, and it won't stick to the bed of your machine. Even if we're using this, you might find that this bit would stick to the bed of your machine, so that stops that from happening. Somebody says, you can't beat Johnson's powder. I love it. Yeah, who says that? Oh, Nicola, I know. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Takes you right back to when the Biden's away to Lithuania. Yeah, well, you see the Air Force here, the American Air Force, could well be escorting him in their fighter planes. Yep. So that's perhaps what they're doing. So that's their job. Right. So I'm just going to go through the next little stage, and then that's all I'm going to do, guys, because we're going to do this, as I said, in bite-sized chunks. So the first thing you're going to do is lay your bonder web down and cover it with bits. Now, I understand if you have problems with randomness, so please just do squares or just do triangles and keep them in a straight line. It does not matter how you do this, okay? But try to do the process, and that way, you know, you'll be the same as everybody else. So I've got my beautiful little 1008 here, and if you ever get the chance to own one of these machines and you need something that's going to do the job, whatever that job is, a 1008 will do it. It's a mechanical machine, and oh, it's just the best, just the best. I wouldn't use it for my normal day-to-day work. I would just only use it for textile work. So I'm going to zoom in a wee bit so you can see what I'm doing. So just bear with while I try and get you in a bit more. Ooh, sorry, that's a bit better. Okie dokie. Now, if you're using a metallic thread, if you can, use either a top stitch needle or a metallic needle. Okay, that always helps. Please read your manual. It might give you tips and tricks on how your particular machine likes metallic thread. It might give you some information that you never knew existed. For instance, on my machine, and we can't see it at this angle, when I lift up the handle, there's actually an extra threading hole for metallic thread in the handle, which I never knew until I looked at the manual the other day. So it's quite a good thing to actually do. So we're going to use our machine with a regular foot, so in other words a foot that will do regular stitching and zigzag, because zigzag is all we're going to do. And feed dogs as normal, nothing has changed at all. Maybe, like I say, use a brand new needle and an appropriate needle as well. A 12 or even a 14 is ideal. That's an 80 or 100. Oh gosh, what else can I say? You've got the fluidity of the talcum powder on the back, so that shouldn't cause you any bother. The other thing I was going to say to you, if your machine needle picks up the glue, which it could well do on the needle, and you end up with a little globule of glue on your needle, get a little piece of wadding and either soak it in oil or soak it in a solution that is will take away anything sticky, so it's a glue residue remover, yeah? And there are such things on the market. So either a little bit of oil, and this is soaked in special stuff that is it makes glue. What does it do? It's dissolves glue. For goodness sake, I can't speak. I wouldn't bother taking the needle out if that happens and you've got a little globule of glue on your needle. Just hold your thread, take your little piece of wadding, cotton would be nice, and don't use cotton fabric, use a wadding so it's nice and soft, and just stroke your needle like that to take off any residue. I mean, put your foot down if it's easier, and just stroke it down and make sure that the eye stays clear of any glue, and this the shank of the needle as well. Okay, that's probably a good top tip. Practice on a piece of fabric first to make sure that your machine is happy. And no, you don't put metallic thread in your bobbin. I've never done that in my life. What I tend to do is use a matching regular thread. So I don't have my, I've got it over here. So my bobbin is filled with that. Okay, just a regular Gutermann. When I do gold, I use a gold Gutermann, just a regular sew-all, let's say, polyester, regular thread. Do not put metallic. Try it. When I say do not, try it. You could use bobbin fill if you want, but I never find that satisfactory. I always get a white thread come up from the bottom. Even whatever I do with the tension, I always get like a white thread come up, and it spoils the look of the stitching that you're doing. So get a complementary regular Gutermann thread for your bobbin. Okay, good. That was a very good question. And I've got silver. Let me move it so you can see it. It's just coming around the back there. There we go. not the Gutermann, the silver. I've got the silver thread on a stand, and it holds my thread beautifully. I don't ever put my thread in the spool holders. I just don't know why, but I never do. Okay, so the first lot of stitching we're going to do, and I'm definitely not going to do all of this. I'm only going to do about 6 inches. We're going to do a small zigzag. So your stitch length should be on about 0.5. Try it on 0.5, adjust it if you need to, okay? And the actual width of your thread, I would say try 2.5 and see how you feel about it, because it wants to be quite narrow. If we look at the if you look at the stitching on my patches there, for instance, I mean, it's not terribly good, so don't look too close. It's quite narrow, but the stitching that I've done around all my pieces is quite wide. I think that was a width of 3 or even 4. Okay, so there's quite a difference between the stitching here and the stitching here. Okay, so the first lot of stitching is actually quite narrow. So with my machine, because it's old and ancient, I always hold my threads. It's only recently that I've stopped doing that. And then have a look. Doesn't that sound lovely? Have a look at your stitches. If you need to tighten your tension, tighten it. If you need to loosen it, loosen it. And you might find you need to loosen it with a metallic thread. With your regular thread, oh gosh, don't worry. Don't worry. So this doesn't pivot, it doesn't do anything fancy. Now, I think my stitch could go a little bit closer together, so I'm just adjusting. Mine's mechanical, so if you're using a digital, a computerized machine, you know what to do. Take your time, do not rush. This is a mindful project. If, like here, I don't know if you can see, but my foot is lifting up this fabric a little bit. Lift the foot and release it. And then when you come to the next piece of fabric, I don't want you to break your threads. I just want you to move your work and just stitch that little bit, okay? So every time I've got my fat fingers in the way, I don't know where my Oh, here it is, my lovely stiletto. Oh, come here you. So just to stop your fingers getting stitched. And so just take your time. This machine just purrs. It really does. And let it do its thing. And if you're using the tearaway stabiliser, try to keep within the boundaries of that stabiliser. So we're just literally doing a lovely, lovely zigzag. Absolutely nothing complicated in this at all. Everybody can do this, whatever machine you've got. Even if your machine cost you 50 quid, you should be able to do this. No bother. This is not a snobbery contest. Although I prefer this to my UX8, and yeah, that's saying something. So let's just do this little bit here. So I'm not worried about covering like one whole piece of fabric. I'm just following the lines naturally. Okay, so when I come to the end, I can either take this out of the machine and cut the threads, or I've got a line here, can you see? Got a line here, or I can just hop across. As long as you've lifted your foot up, it will release the tension discs and it'll allow you to hop across, and then you can just snip your threads. Okay, oh, it's just purring away. So we're coming up to where I joined up before, sort of. You won't be able to see, but I'll show you when I've done this little bit. And then you're just literally following the edges of all the bits that you can see. Okay, there's nothing difficult about this at all. And this is the first stage of our project, and this is all I want you to do. Okay, this is all I want you to do. So I've done enough to show you. So let's just pull it out from our machine. Let's find the scissors. Yeah, mechanical bananas. Well, yeah, I mean, this is obviously a banana, but yeah, true delight. Look at that. And I've got, where is it? Somewhere. Is it on the back? Somewhere. Can't see it now. Hold on, let's have a look. See if I can swing it around. Can't see it now. Whoops, I knew that was going to happen. Somewhere it's got NHS scratched into it. I can't see it now though. Typical, isn't it? I don't think it's on that bit there. No? Oh well. I didn't make it up, I promise. Oh dear. Oh well. Right, sorry about this. I'm trying to get my table back in. Let's just leave that, right? Right, so here we go. Change the subject. So I want you to have a quick look at that. So I've literally come along here, down there, up there. I think I might have gone like that, yeah, and then I came back here, here and here. So I've done it in one sort of fell swoop, if you like. It's annoying me now. So it definitely had NHS scratched on it somewhere. I shall find it as soon as I stop the live. Anyway, so a nice small. You don't really want a satin stitch. You don't want it that heavy. So you can see with mine, there's quite a gap between the stitches. I think it's, yeah, I got it on 0.5, thereabouts. It's mechanical, so it could be on anything. And a width of just under 2.5, maybe 2.4, something like that. So it gives it a lovely, you can see it, but it's not thick and heavy. Okay, it's not overwhelming. Now look, we can all do this, all of us, every single one of us watching tonight, and if you're watching another night, you can all do this, and that's all we're doing for about 2 weeks. Because I want you to enjoy it. I want you to achieve it, and I want you to be ready for the next bit. Okay, what make is the metallic thread? Oh, don't start me on this, because it's my absolute favourite brand in the whole wide world. Let me cut it and I'll show you. It's not desperately cheap, you know, it's not a cheap one, but it's oh Lord, it's all in Chinese. Oh, actually it's Japanese. It's a Japanese thread. Now I know, because my brain doesn't work like it used to, I'm absolutely not going to remember this, but I know Jackie and Kath and Gemma, I know my admin will know what this is and where I get it from. Somac, thank goodness for that. It's from a company called Somac, and they do the most exquisite thread. It's absolutely beautiful. It's Japanese, it's top quality. It has never failed me ever. It did once, and I can't even now remember why it did. They do all the colours in the world, and this is 1,000 meters, right? So it's 10 times bigger than your regular Gutterman, and it will last you years. Okay, I've used the gold, I can't even tell you how many times. So it's Somac, S-O-M-A-C. Can't remember how much it is, but it's worth every single penny. It's beautiful thread. I've got probably, I don't know, 50 or 60 of their reels of thread, and that's not all of them, but I inherited a lot from Mum. These are mine. But Mum had more. Okay, so let me quickly show you on the overhead. My candles are still going. So this is the piece we've created, okay, and I want you to stitch all of the lines of the fabric, and I want you to do it just where obviously it's overlapping, even where it's just a little tiny bit here. I want you to stitch it, so when we have a look at that, for instance, you're not seeing any raw edges at all. All of the edges of all of the pieces of fabric are going to be zigzagged. Now I want you to take your time, okay? I want you to enjoy the process. This is all part of being a platinum member, that we are a little step above anybody else anywhere. This is not the sort of normal thing that you perhaps would be doing in a sewing group. If I'm wrong, please tell me. But so I want you to be able to achieve it, and I want you to be able to do it at your pace, and that's why we're spreading all of these steps out. Now let me take you on one more step, and I'm not going to do it, but I'll take you on one more step. So for instance, let me see if I can find my bits, which of course I'm not going to find, but there we are. So when we come to this bit here, if I was to cut out this little piece here, which is A1, so I don't want you to rush ahead, I want us to do this together, right? If I see any made, I shan't be happy, because we're doing it together. It's important that we do it together. So I want you to put a little bit of EPP glue on here, or a temporary adhesive on the back of your piece here, so it sticks down but you can lift it off. I don't want you to pin it because it would distort it, but you're going to place your pattern piece on your fabric, and it could be that you're just going to go like that, okay, and that's the bit you cut out, that bit there, and then maybe you'll lie the next bit next to it here. So it's wherever you've got a point of interest. So here we've got 4 different fabrics meeting, and this can go over the top of all 4 pieces. I'm not going to cut it, but it will go over the top of all 4 pieces. So when we cut this out and keep it facing up, right side facing, you'll have the most amazing piece of tiny little piece of patchwork that you couldn't possibly believe that you did. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. on the next one, which is about a fortnight's time. I think it was the 24th. I might be wrong, but it's I think it's another Monday. I think I put it in the diary. Anyway, so that's what we'll do. But when we come together next time, I want you to have completed this with all of your zigzag, all of this lovely, beautiful zigzag here. And then we're going to be cutting out the pieces, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay. Oh dear me. I feel like I've been very do it this way, do it that way over the last couple of days. Anyway, it's just how it is, isn't it? Just how it is. If you've got any of those jump stitches that we just did before, just snip them and trim them off. There we are. So you can see the potential. Well, perhaps you can't. Perhaps you look at it and think, I haven't got a blooming clue what that's about. Well, look back, have a little go. And I bet you'll do it. I bet you'll be absolutely fabulous at it. And this is what we're making. And it's going to look beautiful, especially at Christmas time. So there we are, part 1 of project 2. Part 1 of project 3, which is our candle cover. And we'll do the next part in 2 weeks' time. So if you can spend a few minutes here and there creating your piece of fabric, that would be super, and then you'll be ready to go on to the next stage. And you'll be able to see on the back there, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this just tears away, I promise. Right, thank you very much for a lovely, lovely evening. It's been absolutely super. I've so enjoyed your company. I haven't seen any questions, so I will have a quick look back afterwards to see if there's any questions, and obviously I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, so there we are. So I shall see you all again in the members group on Thursday, where we start Julia. I've been very busy this week. So we start part 1 of that. There's lots of part 1s and part 2s. And I don't know, can't keep up. Right, I shall see you all on Thursday. Night night, everybody. Bye.